amplios comedores que antes ocupaban maquilladas y frívolas damiselas, grandes financieros, capitanes de industria, aristócratas ociosos y aventureros internacionales de toda la Haya, ahora están abarrotados de hombres y mujeres humildes que siguen el ritmo de la sociedad que se está creando. Barcelona trabaja y come. Esa es su fuerza y su virtud.
Now that the factories and workplaces were in the hands of the workers, anarchist union leaders like Josep Costa fought to start production again.
We told the workers to get back to the factory and wait for our instructions. Immediately we called all the factory owners and executives to a meeting at the town hall. We told them, well, gentlemen, something big has happened here. We don't know what's going to happen, but the factories have to continue functioning. We ask you to be at work again tomorrow at whatever hour you're supposed to start. 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Agreed? Agreed. But we have to warn you, labor relations will be very different from now on.
The CNT, the anarchist trade union, had been taken by surprise when the revolution began. It was anarchist militants who rallied the workers to take over their industries. Where the old bosses remained, they had to take orders from these workers' committees. Nearly 2,000 enterprises were collectivized in Catalonia, the greatest experiment in workers' self-management Western Europe has ever seen. The workers now set about improving their working conditions. Free medical care and adequate pensions were introduced. But at the same time, some of the old employers were hounded as enemies of the people.
6 days after it started, around July the 25th, 10 or 11 industrialists were killed in Teresa. They were murdered. The Catalan bourgeoisie was seized by this general panic. Everybody thought his head was going to be chopped off any minute. I told my father that we should leave. We still had time to leave because everything was so chaotic. But he said, if God wants me to be killed, they can kill me. But I'm staying.
Revolutionary terror spread through the Republican areas. The middle classes in most of Spain had supported the army rebellion, but the liberal Catalan middle classes had remained largely pro-Republican. Now they became the victims of this terror and turned against the Republic.
I didn't belong to this side. I wasn't an anarchist. I wasn't a communist. I was a liberal man who respected other people's way of thinking. And on the other hand, I could never have fought on Franco's side, which was, and still is, totally opposed to my way of thinking.
For the moderate Republican government, the revolution was threatening to split society. It also threatened its chances of winning the war. The Spanish communists took the same view. But it was not only the killings and the collectives that shocked the middle class. The revolution had destroyed a traditional way of life. The power of the church and its moral code disintegrated. For many women on the Republican side, it was a time of astonishing liberation.
That revolutionary explosion gave us women absolute freedom. We couldn't live war as men were living it. For men, things hadn't changed all that much. Our lives, however, had really changed. Women took men's places not only in factories, not only as a workforce, not only in the war industry. It was all women. At that time, to be a woman and to be young was the ultimate.
The revolution brought women instant and radical changes. Abortion was soon made available on demand. Initially, women went to the front to fight and die in the trenches. For Spanish feminists, prostitution was a relic of capitalist exploitation, to be abolished. They set up schools to re-educate prostitutes. Revolutionary vice squads cleaned up the red light district of Barcelona. But it wasn't easy to change old habits overnight.
At the union there were arguments. We've heard that you shut the brothels. Where will people go now? The others would reply, they can find a girlfriend or get married. That can't be done overnight, they'd say. You could have shut 2 brothels today, another 2 tomorrow, so that people could get used to the idea. The same with the taverns. What about the waiters? What will they do for a living? Teach them another trade. Where? You see, there were those we call the pragmatists, the realists who could see the revolution wasn't easy. But then there were the moralists, those who gave the Spanish Revolution the healthy air it had.
Anarchists disapproved of marriage, believing that couples should unite or part freely, without any license from church or state. Young revolutionaries happily adopted their advice, but many mothers were appalled by free love.
Some mothers even came to the union to speak with people they considered apostles of free love. Look, my daughter has left home without telling me. She's living somewhere with someone. We'd say, we're all in favor of it. Yes, but that boy will leave, and we don't even know his name. Well, anyway, the union decided this had to be legalized somehow. So they invented what they called revolutionary weddings.
Revolutionary weddings took many different forms. This is what happened in the Barcelona Woodworkers Union.
We made 3 copies of the marriage certificate, the original and 2 more. The union kept the original, and 1 copy each was given to the man and the woman, who were told, if at any time you have any problems and wish to separate, come here with both pieces of paper. We'll take our copy and set fire to the 3 of them, and you'll be free again. That was the official wedding ceremony. But as with many other things, it became necessary to force the situation a bit, because there wasn't enough time for persuasion and proper education. So the president of the union, a very amusing man from Seville, would take the man aside after the ceremony and tell him, look, what we said about burning the documents isn't quite as easy as you think. It's something that has to be thought about carefully and properly weighed up. So don't come here pestering me, because if you do, I'll give you such a kick in the balls, you'll remember it for the rest of your days, right? So off you go, be happy, long live the revolution.